Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today it's Final Fantasy, it's out already and they gave us a very interesting midweek magic to go with it. Standard Pauper. Now that said, a lot of the cards for... good cards in FF are really the uncommon ones, so we're kind of stretching a bit for Standard. But we did manage to find something to make work. And so this is pretty much the Black Mage deck, or more specifically, it revolves around casting non-creature spells to deal 1 damage to each opponent. So we got the Black Mage's Rod that creates these has this effect, gives us a creature while we're at it. But we also have a lot of ways of generating these tokens. So we got cornered by Black Mages, make opponent sacrifice a creature, and you get the 0/1 Black Wizard. Mysidian Elder, 1/3 that also comes with its own Black Mage, and that's pretty much it. But we do have other effects that look for casting non-creature spells, like Firebrand Archer. Welcome back in Foundations. Cast non-creature spell. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And we have a little bit of a sideways here with Blazing Bomb. So when you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. But otherwise, it's just a Fanatical Firebrand without the haste, but with the potential to grow. We don't have that many ways of growing it though. We have Thunder Magic, which if we go for Tundara, which is +3, that will grow our Blazing Bomb. And we have 2 copies of Aggressive Sabotage, pretty much for anti-control. We definitely want to kick it to get it to cast 4, but we can still just cast it as a Mind Rot. Otherwise, everything else are non-creature spells that keep us alive and push things through. Ren's Resolve, Burst Lightning, which we can also kick for Blazing Bomb. Lightning Strike, and some copies of Abrade. Abrade actually quite good here. I guess I could have gone with Suplex. The Exile actually is looking relevant, but I'm sticking with Abrade for now. Otherwise, lands, well, we're not exactly a town deck, so we're not running the Black-Red Town. Everything else is quite straightforward here. And then here. And yeah, early testing is quite promising. Now, first test, I did cut down to 21 lands because you do not want to flood early. Basically also to fit in the copies of Ren's Resolve. Please adjust as needed. And yeah, there you go. So, probably want to lead on the Jagged Barrens Bloodfilled Caves because we're not... I can still drop Blazing Bomb on turn 2. Oh, opponent's gonna shock us? That's a bit shocking. Now, depending what our opponent drops, we have quite a few options. We definitely want to drop cornered by Black Mages, so we're looking to see if our opponent... I suspect we are in the mirror match. Though turn 1 shock is... Okay, disfigured. Looks like our opponent is just straight up removal. Now this is sorcery until the end of your next turn. So I could cast this and hope to hit other things with this, so I could also just hold this up. I guess I'll Ren's Resolve for now. We're not exactly... okay, not bad. We get to play this, we get to play Mysidian Elder, and... This person's being... I really hate it when people are impatient. And... So we get that, we get this. I would suspect our opponent snipes the token. I would not be surprised if that's the case. Oh no, they're... Okay. I'm kind of fine with that, but if they're just all removal, that's on them. Oh no, they're just gonna skip it. Okay. I suspect, well... Oh, they actually have white. So I'm actually gonna pass on here. Yeah, I suspect our opponent is not taking this seriously. And we can play our Blazing Bomb down. So we kind of still want to draw more cards, but we can buy ourselves some time with the next few turns. Again, I suspect our opponents is just all removal. Oh no, they're all wiped out. You really want to have... I suspect our opponent's going to try to remove one creature just to avoid getting... Oh no, they're waiting. Okay. Are they still going to wait? That's fine. Then we can print... I could end of turn take out the treasure token, but that's kind of meaningless. Right, Priest. I don't know what our opponent is... Oh well, I sus... And there we go. Yeah, you still want to have copies of Lightning Strike. And that's how you do it. That is how you do it. I suspect our opponent was trying to go for something with life gain, but they never drew into that. They really spread themselves very thin by not being able to draw the extra pieces. We do run the same problem as well. Like we might be forced to play all our removal before we could drop any of this early. 9 cards. But that's a risk we're willing to take with this one, and we're pretty much doing this just for fun. We are gonna be in big trouble if we run into the enchantment deck. Okay. Definitely want Black Mage's Rod turn 2. We'll see if our opponent might have something. Our opponent might have something we want to snipe, but we definitely want to play Black Mage's Rod first and have it stick on the creature. Do remember that this has to stick on the creature to get the effect. Alternately, I could just spread the Blazing Bombs wide just to bait out as much removal from our opponent as possible. Also, the Chocobo, really cute. Okay, the Chocobos. Okay, hold on. Oh, hold on. Chocobo. Yeah, Chocobo's cute. We'll give it that. And our opponent... Okay, looks like they're into control, so... Probably gonna play the Black Mage's Rod first. So that way, even if they do counter, we are also hurting for lands. Look. Okay, but it looks like they're going for Tempest Angler. Ooh. Kind of have to snipe this before this gets any bigger, so yeah, we're gonna break. It doesn't help that we're missing land drops, but yeah, it is what it is. At least we hit their blood-filled caves. We're trying to see if we can bait out the refute. It's super unlikely though. Opponent's just gonna deduce, sure. Blue-red is also kind of the way to... Well, it's actually more blue-black. Like, Mist and Elder's the only one that creates these tokens in red. Just gonna swing with this one, see if our opponent decides to chump block. They might... Oh, they're actually just gonna take it. Okay. They might have a response for this. Because I am willing to wait it out a bit. Frantic Firebolt. Sure. Into another Deduce. Yeah, cutting down to 21 lands this is kind of the risk of cutting down to 20 land. I think 22 might be more correct. We probably will just could cut one of the Elders here, but okay, bounce the token. Yeah, still damage in. It is exact to just for equipping this one, so there we go. Tolarian, yeah, this is usually the other game plan, just dumping a Tolarian Terror and all that. I'll drop this. This is enough. This probably is enough bait for refute. Yep. Basically, I suspect our opponent might have another refute though, but oh no, it's just think twice. So I think pass. We'll probably take a few hits from Tolarian Terror in the meantime. And this is the case where, yeah, we kind of burned out our removal. Well, this is not gonna quite do it. So yeah, we're just gonna start going. Oh, actually I should have gone with the Black Mage's Rod. And also missing our 4th mana does hurt here. So Tempest Anchor is gonna grow quite big. It's gonna probably go out of range here. Yeah, so being stuck on 3 mana is an issue here for us. Yeah, this is what I talk about. We hit all of one, but you miss out on the other. And being stuck on 3 mana, it happens. I'd suspect the way is to just go down to 22, but I wouldn't know what to cut in that scenario. Just a bit unfortunate. Probably the Tolarian Terror deck is quite relevant enough that you probably is there a way? Okay, let's see what are the ways for eating the graveyard in FF. Or if not in FF, it's just in general. So honestly, not much. Actually, it's probably Excel this card, Excel target card. Ugh. No, all the good ones are uncommon. Honestly, Tolarian Terror probably should also be uncommon. That has no right being a comp. But then again, by the time they play the Tolarian Terror, wiping the graveyard doesn't really do much. So, Jagged Barons. I could, if I'm not in a hurry, I can probably just play Bloodfell Cave's Blazing Bomb. Ooh, poison. Yeah, I would be so happy if they stop doing standard Pauper until all these cards rotate out. So we'll swing first. Opponent prompt. The Abishkar Raceway is mostly just to give us an an avenue for drawing cards if ever we need it. I don't... They might still have the cheap counter spell. Whisper of the Draws, Proliferate. Okay, that's fine. They could have done that earlier to deny one. So we're definitely casting Ren's Resolve next turn. Play. Well, the damage went through already, but I can... So 13 or less life. We can play that next turn. This one's a bit risky, but I might as well just do this now. Yeah, unfortunately casting this into this doesn't really do much for us, so... Yeah, we'll play Blazing Bomb. Yeah, we're giving up Thunder Magic. But that does dig us a few cards deeper. Nope. Oh wait, we don't have max speed yet, that's why. Yeah, Bring the Ending also being okay, so now time to start digging in for more threats. We managed to stall our opponent a bit. Sure. The Proliferate part is annoying. Maybe I would have seen an argument for just sniping it. But yeah, they're out of cards. Yeah, might as well just cast this now. You're not discarding anything, but it does get us some damage through. And if we somehow get this out, so we'll see. Our opponent probably has... Usually this is chock full of removal. We've got... Yep. Another bit, but that's... So this one deals... Okay, that doesn't do much for us, so... Okay, Thunder Magic that we don't quite need, but at the same time, this one does... Yeah, the problem is our opponent is going to be skip. It's going to be just proliferating, so they don't need to interact with us at all. So this is where we kind of lose unless we can... But thankfully, they still drop regular creatures, so we... So this still works. Okay, Burst Lightning is also an option. We'll hold back a bit. I'm gonna go for it. If they have the counter spell, they just have the counter spell. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I guess there's an argument for using the Lightning Strike first, but. Yeah, I can see the Blazing Bomb growing quite a bit. So it's not a case of who can get there first. So I'm gonna just do this now. Okay, so down 7. Almost there, but it's getting close. Probably won't be able to activate the second raceway, so we're gonna skip that. Cornered by Black Mages is good. Oh, gain 1 life does stall things out. I'm so tempted to just play the Cornered by Black Mages just to... we can also play the Elder instead. But it looks like we're all in top deck mode, so we got that going for us. That's fine. That's still a bit fine. Actually, I'm gonna sequence it a bit differently, so I don't know if this is correct. Yeah, it looks like that's it. Whew, okay, that was very close. Our opponent did hit the land glut there, so yeah, cut. They were kind of dependent card draw, but yeah, you really have to cut down cards. The average card raceway did carry us there, allowing us to get a few extra draw steps, which is definitely not bad at common. Yeah, sure, it's expensive, but it is really meant for that specific use case. So kind of loaded, but we do have A into B. Yeah, it's a good thing we're ignoring our opponent for the most part. But this does tell us that our opponent is probably a spells deck. Yeah, it's just a spells deck. So yeah, and there's one Tolarian Terror. Yeah, we're kind of taking... Yeah, the tap lands are a bit of an issue if our opponent were any faster. Thankfully, not quite the case. Also, kind of want to save the Burst Lightning, I think. If our opponent doesn't... Okay, we're just gonna do this as a test. Okay. So next turn we probably Ren's Resolve, try to dig in. They might have bounce spells. That's usually the other thing they do. Stasis Field. Let's do a double check. Yeah, it loses some text. So we'll do that later. Now here come the counter spells. Okay, lands are good. Lands are okay. Now, if I remember correctly, you can equip this. Yeah, because of the way, yeah, re-equipping changes the math here. clicked the wrong one. Triggers are going to be slow coming, and it does become a problem if our opponent finally drops a Talarian Terror. Yep, there's a Talarian Terror, so we're going to have to resolve our... Yeah, having the Rents resolved is really nice. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go for it. RPO. Yeah, playing the blue-red version was definitely a lot better. You do not want to be going mono. Opponent could get back the stasis, and they're gonna probably lock this one down, I suppose. So I could get really greedy. Like I could go 1, 2, 3. Let's test if they have it. No. Oh, it's just. Oh, I still need one more. So okay, there we go. Whew. But yeah, the mono blue version is not. You really need more than just the static, because that stalls. Also, you don't get enough payoffs. The other guy did it a lot better. The other person did it a lot better. Okay, let's do one more match, then we can call this one. So it seems like we're good. Okay, Barons into Archer into Rens resolved. Okay, look at like in that sequence. Firebrand Archer, the honorary Black Mage. Yeah, we'll play this first. If it eats removal, it is what it is, because we do have the mana for Mysidian Elder instead. If we okay, it's the boring scroll shift deck again. So yeah, Mysidian Elder's a lot better here. I guess that's the allure of Pauper, that the same deck is still kind of playable. Okay, losing the Black Mage is not ideal. If we can hit one more mana, I would just I'll probably just cast Aggressive Sabotage, joint their cards. Okay, we did not, so gonna have to kind of do this. Ooh, this is bad. We're going to end. We're gonna end up losing the Braid, which I really want. Yeah, it looks like definitely don't stick to 21. 22 is fine. Sure. I'm actually hoping our opponent casts a creature, so it makes the cornered relevant, but it looks like this is not going to be that deck. Okay, so we have options here. Honestly, I just go for this one. Give our opponent something to think about. Yeah, losing the braid is a bit annoying. Is your opponent able to flip this? He could flip it. No, he needs an actual creature. I like the idea of night. I was considering night market for cycling. I was also getting graveyard outside. This will probably be my last episode. Last episode. This will probably be my last game for this episode. Opponent might just end up. I might end. Okay, knowing what I have, probably still sack the token. Yeah, we're most likely going to lose this for the most part. So our opponent is kind enough to leave. Our opponent was kind enough to leave the Packdal Terror vulnerable. We should be thankful to our opponent for that. They wanted to do the draw card. They probably could. We are running a version that doesn't have much destroy effects. It's really mostly damage based. Yeah, the Tiding. We are so creature-like that Tiding Blade is going to be a bit of a problem. And now that our opponent is going to be able to flip one of these up, we would need to hit an actual Abrade. And I think our opponent has enough to be able to hit more of these. So yeah, this is a bit of a foregone conclusion. Yeah, we can concede. Our opponent was able to get the setup. We managed to eke one out earlier, but I think that was in testing. I was able to eke one out in testing against this one. But yeah, being stuck on lands is a bit. Yeah, we'll do one more game. You know that feeling, just one more. Or not. I have no idea what's up. Okay, I guess not. Okay. Well, okay, we'll call this episode until something shows up. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. I'll just wait to see what happens with this one. But there you go, that's gonna be it. Yeah, good luck in Final Fantasy. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.